I have just watched 2 episodes of Avatar The Last Airbender on Netflix, and I am just so confused as to how this live action remake was not cancelled. Like, all I remember of the first season is how frustrated and annoyed I was with what they changed and the characters, and just overall what they did to them. And I naively thought maybe season 2 will be better. But oh my god, it is so much worse. It is so bad, I can't even comprehend it. Like, my brain is a mess. And yes, I'm probably very biased as a hardcore fan of the original. I've watched it over 3 times and I literally love that show. But even if you separate the show completely from the original, this is not a good series. The humour is abysmal and the dialogue is so cringy and so awkward to watch. Just take a look at this scene, okay? From episode 1.
You and I are both waterbenders, Sokka.
Yeah, but we need an earthbender to bring the path up out of the... Oh. I knew he'd get there.
Like, what? That doesn't, like, it just doesn't even make sense. It's not even funny at all. It's just so awkward. And I kid you not, this is how it is the whole time you're watching. Like, it is abundantly clear that they did not understand these characters or how to portray them properly. Or maybe they just didn't even care enough to even somewhat resemble their original counterparts. Like, yes, Sokka is the more comedic one, but it is clear they didn't understand the type of humour that he has. Because Sokka's humour is quite unique. It's witty, sarcastic, and a little bit stupid while still quite endearing. He's the type of character to state what the audience members are almost thinking in a certain situation. He brings a sense of normality and relatability to this world that is so beyond ours.
Hurry up, Sokka!
Just a guy with a boomerang. I didn't ask for all this flying and magic.
But I'm getting off topic. The fact is, can you see the difference between those 2 clips? It's not just me, right? I'm not going mad. Like, I can't stress enough how one-dimensional these characters are compared to their animation counterparts. It's not just Sokka, it's Aang, it's Katara, it's Toph, it's all of them. Like, Aang is literally a child who has the weight of the world on him. But that's the key word, child. So he does silly, goofy things as he travels and experiences this new world of his. Like, he hasn't just awoken from his 100-year nap and, like, gained all this maturity, which is pretty much what the live action kind of did. And I don't think that it helped that the actor of Aang obviously has quite literally grown out of the role, which they kind of tried to avoid by making a joke out of it.
You shut up like a bamboo sprout.
Are you? Am I?
No. Hey.
Which just doesn't really work, and it is so awkward. It's like they just told them to be like, act like a kid, but now that they're older, it just comes out so messy. And look, I don't blame any of the actors. This is like clearly a writing issue. Like, I'm sure they're trying the best with what they got. Unfortunately, it's just so bad that this whole script should have been burnt. So yeah, they pretty much though aged up Aang and just made him an incredibly awkward teenager. But honestly, it's so much more than that. They don't even understand the fundamentals of his character and his character development. And I could tell that 3 minutes into the first episode through this. Do you see it? Do you see how much is wrong with that scene? First, he lands in a superhero position, which feels so out of place for this world. And secondly, most importantly, he wouldn't land that heavily. He's an airbender, and in this moment in the story, he hasn't met Toph yet. And there's this whole thing about how he's light on his feet because of it. And how he struggles to learn earthbending because it is so opposite to what he normally does. I'm sorry, I need to like calm down, but like this moment just blew my mind. Because it just also just shows how little they care about the small details of his character. But honestly, this whole scene is such a mess. And I mean, sure, the CGI effects, I guess, are pretty impressive, but that's the only good thing about this show. Anyway, they like meet up with all these other refugees, I think, and previous people they know. I don't know, I can't remember much of the first one. But Suki and the rest of the Kyoshi warriors are also there. Oh, and yeah, Aang can now waterbend, which, you know, I'm pretty sure they showed none of that of training in the first season, which they obviously had to fix, and now we have a short little clip in the beginning showing how he has mastered it, which is just great. Yeah, what a great way to show character development and progress. But this is nothing new, as the whole episodes are completely out of sequence from the original events that happen. Like Boomy, his old friend, who they try and rescue from the Fire Nation, is done completely different from the animation, as they once again try and treat Aang's character as a superhero. And I guess they're trying to make him appear cool, but it really just comes off as terrible. Like, come on, be so for real. What is this? And then Boomy's not even locked up in the iron cage he is in the original, which really helps showcase how strong and how powerful of an enemy he was to the Fire Nation. No, in this version, he's just locked in a room. Great. It also cuts out so much. Like, I remember here they're supposed to, like, meet up with Azula and her friends and have this whole, like, battle. And I'm pretty sure Aang's group pretty much gets beat up, and it really showed how much of a threat Azula and her gang was to them, which here they don't do. None of the changes they make in this series add any value to the show compared to what the original did. If you're going to change something, it either needs to be better or at the same level of the original. Otherwise, what's the point? If anything, it just makes it confusing, and we also lose iconic scenes like this when they pass the Serpent's Pass.
Oh, Sokka, you saved me. Mwah.
Actually, it's me.
Oh, well, you can go ahead and let me drown now.
We don't get this in the live action, because in episode 1 they already go through the Serpent's Pass and we haven't even met Toph yet. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll like bring in that scene in another part, but like I don't think I can physically watch any more episodes, so I will never know. It's just so frustrating watching a show you love with characters you love to be completely torn apart to such mediocrity. Not even Toph is portrayed correctly. Toph is supposed to be childish and competitive, as well as quite rebellious because of her overprotective parents. But in the live action, they try to make her appear almost edgy and cool. The only way I can describe it is it's like they put Toph and Aang and try to shove them into this superhero mold, but it just doesn't work. And instead just strips them of all their unique personalities. And for what? To try and appear relevant to today's culture? Which doesn't even make any sense, because if anything, people are over the superhero genre. Oh, and another thing they love to do is expedition dump on the audience, rather than slowly and naturally building character and story.
I met these badger moles. I could feel them through the ground, but what was weirder is that I could feel that they knew I was scared. They were blind, like me, so we understood each other.
This goes on for so long that not only did I speed it up, I had to cut out some of it.
The world is turning. There's water and the river's deep underground. Squirrels run across tree branches. Ants carry little bits of sand to the moss.
The entire clip is almost a whole minute long. And now, if we compare this to the original, which is under 30 seconds.
Even though I was born blind, I've never had a problem seeing. I see with earthbending. It's kind of like seeing with my feet. I feel the vibrations in the earth, and I can see where everything is. You, that tree, even those ants.
And this small shot establishes so much more than that whole 1 minute one from the live action. Like, it shows us how comfortable she is, even though she is blind, as she's walking across the bridge on the edge, rather than simply walking back and forth as she info dumps everything on us. But at least they didn't destroy her whole character growth, unlike what they did to Zuko, whose core character traits are completely ignored.
I'm gonna go find the Avatar. And then I'm gonna go home.
I know damn well that he would not say that. He would say for his honor, to restore his honor. But they don't even portray Iroh right here. Like, right before this, he offers Zuko soup or something and not tea. He would offer him tea. I know these are small things, but it's these small details that matter so much, which the live action just can't do right for some reason. And even if these small details don't matter, the next thing they have him do is complete character assassination. They have the audacity to shoot a scene almost shot for shot, but change the most critical part. A scene in which should reaffirm how Zuko isn't a bad person, but a child who has been terribly manipulated by his dictator father. This is portrayed how, you ask? When we see him choose to not steal from an innocent family. But no, what do they do in the live action? He steals from a pregnant woman, which completely changes how we as an audience view him and making him so much less redeemable. Like, how are we supposed to root for this guy when he has done such terrible acts? Now, I know you probably have already seen kind of this comparison, but like, I just felt it was so important to put in to show how different they have changed Zuko as a character, especially his whole character arc throughout the story, from a complete antagonist to an ally to the Avatar. And they didn't even do Azula right either. Like, it's just exhausting how badly they wrote these characters in the live action. Like, she isn't intimidating in any sense of the word. Now, unfortunately, Azula's actor is not bad, but it's not effective either, especially in terms of her visual presence on scene, which just doesn't command a room the way the original Azula does. And this is nothing against her as an actor, okay? This is just how I see it. The best way I can describe it is how we subconsciously kind of see things. Like how we see colours, for example, like how we associate red with passion or anger, and like yellow with happiness. Or when it comes to shapes, and we see sharp objects like knives, we think danger, because you know, it's sharp and pointy, right? And I think the same thing can be applied to actors and their visual features to portray a particular idea. Azula is supposed to be crazy, cunning, and powerful, so her features should reflect that. But in the live action, there's a much more softness to her. Now, this wouldn't be such big of a deal if it was compensated through other means, like through her actions or dialogue. But unfortunately, that isn't any better. And that's something completely out of her control. Like, they have her do things that Azula just wouldn't do. Like when she tells her friends, May and Ty Lee, to try and kill one another to test their loyalty. Which she just wouldn't do because she truly believes that they are on her side, which makes their betrayal later on so much more devastating to her. But they also just change scenes from the original that just don't need changing, that make her feel less and less like Azula.
You don't see the family resemblance? Here's a hint. I must find the Avatar to restore my honor. It's okay. You can laugh. It's funny.
To whatever this is.
I've been told the family resemblance is strong. I will capture the Avatar and restore my honor.
Which really just doesn't hit the same way as it does in the animation. Honestly, I feel like I could go on and on about the issues in this show, as I have really just skimmed the surface of it, but I don't want to lose my mind. And it physically pains me just how much they have screwed up every single character from the original. So my takeaway is, just go watch the animation, and don't bother with this live action slop, as you will be disappointed.